Hey guys, it's TFNUT. Welcome back to the channel, and if you're watching this, it should be August 16th, an automatic upload, which means the next day, that is the start of Anime Week here on the channel. So if you're not familiar with Anime Week, what I basically do is I review some, I wouldn't say older, but I mean, which they are, but some less relevant anime action figures that I have been sitting in my collection that I haven't gotten a chance to review until this week. The reason why I picked this week was, honestly, the first time I ever did it, it was a completely random week. But it's become a tradition for me on the channel to do it around the third weekend, or at least the middle of August. Usually when I take time off of work to go out of town, I do want to have some reviews out while I'm gone. So I usually will record these and edit these pretty well in advance and then upload them every day. I think around noon Eastern is what I'm trying to do this year. I don't remember what I did in years past. So I think last year, I don't think I did Anime Week, actually. I might have had to skip because there was I just was not able to get a lot of action figures last year. It was a pretty rough year for that. Or maybe I did a couple of reviews for that, but not very many. But at the end of the day, I do have some stuff here that you're seeing. Not everything. There's one figure here that you're not seeing. It's just too big, it won't fit in this image. So this wide shot that you're seeing here is pretty much most of the figures that you're going to be seeing throughout the week. I'm planning for 5 reviews within 1 week. So let's start off with what I'm going to be reviewing on Monday. Mondays are usually reserved for a Dragon Ball or pretty much mostly Goku action figure. I think the track record is mostly Goku's on the first day of Anime Week, which just kind of it just ended up happening. This is pretty much like Anime Week in a whole. I didn't plan to do Goku's in the beginning of Anime Week, but it just kind of fits now because he's one of the biggest anime characters of all time. I've said in the past, really shouldn't keep buying Goku's. This one that I do have here, I do like, and I did want to eventually get and found at my local Walmart, and that is the Games Begins version of the Super Saiyan Goku that I'm very excited about. A little off topic, I do kind of want to get that premium Bandai version, but I'm also in a tight pinch for any money right now. So I bought all of these, some of these things discounted a while ago too, and this is also a pretty cheap figure in general. So I was going to get this one. It wasn't going to break the bank too much when it comes to reviewing. I think there is a standard like Son Goku coming out in this body now too. So this is my first foray, I believe, with this newer 3.0 body. I could be completely wrong, and I already reviewed a figure on this channel with that body. Again, I could be wrong. But either way, it looks nice. It was cheap, and at the end of the day, I can't wait to finally have this other Goku, because I have wanted an updated Super Saiyan version. The next after that, I'm going off of based on like how big the packaging is. So the smallest packaging, I mean, Goku's is a little wide, but again, we're starting with Goku, which means the smallest packaging out of all of these that is going to be for Tuesday, so we have the 17th, Monday, and then Tuesday is the 18th, and that is the SH Figuarts, and all these are SH Figuarts, by the way. I didn't plan for that to be like that either, but just ended up happening. Gundam Char Aznable from the original Mobile Suit Gundam. Very excited to have this. This is probably and a lot of people's favorite Gundam character in the series. A fantastic character, really awesome backstory, just a great character overall. And yeah, Universal Century is also super sick. And this is a bit more of an expensive action figure since it's a more niche character. I think somebody at Bandai a long time ago, when they did an interview, said the niche characters are going to be more expensive just because it's harder to sell them. And I get that at this point. And like Goku is not going to be hard to sell, so they can basically be entry figures for people. This is definitely not an entry figure. This thing was like close to like 90 to 100 bucks. I got mine on sale at one point on Amazon. I believe had it on sale. I'll have to check the sale price. But when I do these reviews, I'll try to leave links in the description below. But some of these things might be out of stock because I've held on to some of these for months and some of these for years. And you probably can tell which ones I've had longer than others. But yeah, cannot wait to open this one. Next up is going to be the SH Figuarts re-release of Frieren from, the titular character from Frieren Beyond Journey's End. And originally, when this released, I did not expect it to be that hard to get. And then this is a pretty common track record with SH Figuarts and desired figures. Like Jujutsu Kaisen, when that originally dropped, when it started out, not that many people really wanted those figures. They weren't super well known, and then that show just grew in popularity like crazy, and then all those figures got hard to find. Same thing with the Frieren figures, and we do have a decent amount of characters. So far, I do think we're still needing a Stark figure, but we have a Himmel coming out, and Frieren already came out. But Frieren here used to be cheaper, like 65, and now she's like $100, which is absolutely insane. Yeah, so I had to bite the bullet a little bit because I really love this show. This is one of my favorite anime of all time. Lots of people agree it's like one of the best like animes of the 2020s. This show is fantastic. This character's great. Is it going to be worth that much? I'm not sure, man. That's like the new retail price, though, too. So I didn't get scalped or anything. Yeah. So let's just move on after that. We do have this SH. This is an old one, man. SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Z Majin Buu. I reviewed the Evil Buu long ago, I think 2023. That was definitely a reissue, and I loved finally having that figure and the accessory that is for this version of Majin Buu that comes with that other, Buu. Finally going to be able to use on this, and this is a pretty wide figure. I'm glad that this one got re-released because originally, I think years ago, I ended up buying the Comic-Con exclusive. And then a couple years later, they finally released this version. And I'm very glad that they did. I ended up selling the Comic-Con exclusive. Got a pretty penny for that since it was harder to get. And yeah, I think that besides like the premium colors, which is what it usually is for the Comic-Con exclusives, like I think I'm not going to mind whatever colors are with this exact figure. I just cannot wait to get this one open, and I'll try to do a comparison with the previous Buu. I definitely have this alternate head out ready for this review, but I am also in the process of packing and moving things, so that's not really super feasible for me to do. I don't really know if I am going to be able to do a lot of action figure comparisons during this time, because even though I'm about to go out of town, I'm almost, by the time I'm uploading this video you're watching, pretty much almost done with packing things. Last but certainly not least, which this is what I was not able to fit in frame because it's so large, it's almost my review station, give or take like maybe 6 inches. This is the SH Figuarts Berserk Griffith Hawk of Light version, basically the Band of the Hawk Griffith with the horse. They are completely different. And I believe there's a singular figure of Griffith coming out, and I purchased this it used to be super expensive, like $150, I think is what it usually went for. I got mine for like $106 on Big Bad Toy Store a year or two ago. It was much cheaper then. I mean, that's still a pretty penny, but it does come with a whole ass horse here that you see here, and then an entire uniquely sculpted, like insanely detailed action figure, which this whole line of figures is insane. Now we do have a singular figure of Griffith that I don't know has come out yet by the time I make this review. So this should hopefully double as a review for that too if you wanted to. Again, I could not be more wrong. Maybe I should have waited for that version, but in the end of the day, I am okay with what I have here too. Don't know if there's anything different with that newer version. Don't plan on getting it because I already have a Griffith here. So I don't know what new or exactly the same is going to be, going on between both versions of the SH Figuarts Griffith. I will find some images later, and especially for the review, and try to inform you guys if it is just the exact same figure, and if you should decide to get the horse version or the one without the horse, which probably is going to be the one without the horse, is what I'm going to recommend. If I did even 2 seconds of research. So, 5 reviews here. Did I say 5? Actually, we're getting a bonus review for Saturday the 6th because this might be a little bit cheating. I'm cheating for my thing that I've made. But some of my older reviews that I only made like a couple that, I had an older laptop that ended up dying on me, and I thought I lost a lot of footage, only to find out I did back things up on an external hard drive, and I have a review that I need to edit for the Sentinel I believe it is the Riobot Gurren Lagann model kit of Lazingan. So years ago, years ago, I reviewed the Sentinel Riobot. It's either Riobot or Pliobot. It's one of those. It's the model kit of the Sentinel Gurren Lagann. One of my favorite model kits I've ever built. It is a fantastic piece, and that and Lazingan get re-released every couple years or so at this point, and they usually sell pretty well. And I still really like that Gurren Lagann, even though, you know, there's been a couple of other figures and model kits for it that have come out. I think that what Sentinel has done is probably the best stuff. And I also agree with that with Lazingan. Now, Lazingan, I will spoil a little bit. As time has gone on, I don't really remember how well the footage has aged, because it's been a couple years since I filmed that. But typically, the figure itself is it is a skinnier mech compared to Gurren Lagann. So some of the stuff involved with it might be a little iffy, at least nowadays. I don't know if I'm going to need to re-record anything, but I believe all the footage should be fine that I reviewed years ago and should still be relevant information today. So be on the lookout for the bonus bonus video pretty much on Saturday. So now 6 days starting from the 17th through I believe the 22nd of August, you're going to be getting one review a day. Very excited to finally get this out of the way. I didn't really do much with it last year, if any. I'm back to getting this. I'm glad to be back in the swing of things, I should say. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Comment down below what you're most excited to see first at all. And yeah, see you guys later.